watching online, participating. It's never seen before. No conference has done this before for Canada, and we're very excited and a little worried about the amount of work ahead of us.
To U.S. politics now, and President Barack Obama making a surprise visit to Afghanistan, his first trip to the country since becoming president. Obama met with Afghan President Hamid Karzai in Kabul. The U.S. president pressing Karzai to crack down on corruption and strengthen the judicial system there. The American president said Afghanistan has made progress in the military campaign against insurgents and has improved services to its people. The White House says President Karzai will be in Washington May the 12th for more talks. For more on Obama's surprise visit overseas, Solon Simmons joins us, a professor at George Mason University's Institute for Conflict Analysis and Resolution, and he specializes in American politics. So Solon, you knew all about this surprise visit, right?
Oh, weeks ago. Yeah, no, it's been well known. No, it's a big surprise, and I think these things are a surprise for a couple of reasons. I mean, on a symbolic level, you want to capture our attention. You know, these things, mainly these things are symbolic. There's not as much substance as there is the sense of trying to communicate something to us. So we cover it, we pay attention. But it's also important to signal to the American people that Barack Obama is thinking about Afghanistan. I can tell you Sunday is actually a big news day in D.C., and no one was talking about Afghanistan, and now, of course, they are. Also, it's a signal in Afghanistan because it is, if you remember, there have been tensions between the president and Hamid Karzai, the president there. And so this is an affirmation, if you will, of Obama's relationship with the president of Afghanistan and a commitment to his leadership, which has been, as you mentioned, a suspect because of concerns about corruption. So this is an important signal, I think, both here in terms of what the agenda should be and there as well in terms of who our partner in this enterprise is going to be.
So what is he really saying in some of these conversations with Karzai? Obviously, he's going to be pressing to weed out corruption and also crack down on poppy production, which we know is fueling the insurgency.
Right, and beneath the surface here, there are, well, let me first focus on what's going on over in Afghanistan. There's a context here in which the region is becoming unstable. The neighbor of Afghanistan is Iran, has been developing its nuclear sites. There's been a row between the American diplomatic corps and in fact, all the way up to the administration level between the Israelis and the Americans. There's some tension there. What will the Israelis do? Is there some threat of a military action there? If so, of course, Obama wants to make sure to have his allies in place. Back home, there's a domestic political concern as well because Obama now has momentum. And as I understand, even Karzai didn't know that this meeting was going to happen until just hours before.
Okay.
That's what I've heard. I can't say for sure, but that's what I've heard. And that suggests that there's a reason that this was picked at this moment because it signals at home Obama has now got health care, he's got student loans, he's got nuclear arms reductions with the Russians, and now perhaps he can get Afghanistan going the way he wants. It feels like he's got momentum. It feels like he's moving forward, and it keeps his enemies at home off balance because then they have to come against him at a time of a foreign policy crisis, or what could be as we move toward a confrontation in Kandahar.
Sure. So one might say, you know, he's made good in many areas and continues to do that. But, I mean, part of his goal is also to pull out of Afghanistan in 2011. Certainly we know our Canadian government says that Canada will be pulling out in 2011. But we're also hearing the White House may ask Canada to stay beyond what we've committed to. What are you hearing? Will there be some sort of formal request for Canadians to stay longer?
I haven't heard about that, but I'll tell you what it will depend on. It'll depend on the extent to which they can transform what is ultimately a corrupt economy into a well-developed economy, one in which local community development organizations are able to decide what it is they need, funneling funds from the national government. It's like Nixon's old plan for the new federalism. That is, you use the national government, the federal government, to raise the revenue, and then you let it be dispersed at the community level. Now, you can't do that if you don't trust the federal government, and if the community level is also in terror and unable to do what they want to do. So I think that there will be pressure to get out by July. But if one imagines if we're in crisis still there, that will be asked that NATO will stay.
Okay, so a surprise visit, and we'll continue to see what comes of it. Solon Simmons with George Mason University. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jacqueline.
Well, the federal government's legislation to